Hey everyone, we are back again with our latest video on SQL tutorial Bikacho by Bikacho Groups. And this is day 5 set 0.2 of 30-day SQL interview series. And this video is getting recorded on 3rd of May 2025. So without any delay, let's move on to the first question of this video. And here we will resolve the queries same like first of all we are going to resolve the query based question, and then after that we will move on to the theoretical part. Okay, now let's move and check the first question of today's video. So first question what we have the how to find all employees who do not have any subordinates or managers. So we already have a table which has employee and manager relationship, but currently we have created one new table for that we will use in this case. Okay, let's move on to the SSMS and first check the table. Then after that we will resolve the questions one by one. Okay, so expand the database, then SQL interview, expand it. Then in tables you can see we have multiple tables like employee manager, we have employees, we have employee duplicate, we have employee manager new, we have, and sales table we have. So in this case we are going to use the employee manager new table. Okay, now open a new query window and then first of all paste this question. So paste this question. Then what we need to do, we need to check the employee manager new table, what kind of data it has. So select star from employee manager new. Okay, now execute this and check the data first. So here you can see we have the employee ID, employee name, and manager ID. And you can see here we have like John Doe don't have any manager, so he is the CEO, and his record only we want in this particular question. And then here you can see Alice Smith, for him the Alice Smith the manager is Joey Doe, and for Bob Johnson the manager is Joey Doe. Okay, similarly for Charlie Brown, Alice Smith is the manager. Okay, now move on and check the question first. So how to find all the employees who don't have any subordinate manager? So this question can be done in two ways. So one way is using the self join condition, and other way is applying sub queries. Okay, so both ways we will try here. Now first way we will use the self join. Okay, so self join we have already discussed in our join video. So if you need to go through the self join, what is self join, and also you need to know about joins, then you can check our joins video. Okay, that link you will find in the video description. And for sub query also we have the video, so sub query video also you will check in the channel description. Okay, means video description. Now first we check the self join condition. So self join, how to find this particular question. So select and first write the name of the table so that intelligence will work for us. So which table? Employee manager new. Okay, and consider this as A, and then in this table only we will join the same table with left join to make it self join. Okay, so left join, but the alias we will provide different. Left join employee manager new table, and B on what condition? So on the condition like A's manager ID will be B's employee ID. Okay, so that is clear why we are doing that. So because we need to maintain the manager and employee relationship in the same table. So now left join employees manager new B on A dot manager ID equals to B dot employee ID. Okay, so we are considering A as the employee table and B as the manager table to the same table. Now what we need? We need the A dot name, and we need all the employees who don't have any manager. Okay, so A dot employee name comma B dot employee name. And which record we want? We want those record where the B dot employee name is null, which don't have any manager. Okay, now here you can write where B dot employee name is null. And then here one condition you can provide is null condition, like if null will come then we will show no manager. So is null B comma is null and U double L, sorry, is null, and then comma no manager under quote it will come. So no manager manager. Okay, now give alias to this like as manager name. Now execute this, and this is the final query that you need to provide to the interviewer for this particular question by applying the self join condition. The same table is joining with itself, so that condition is called the self join. Okay, now execute this and check the output. So what we are getting, so here you can see we are getting the record of John Doe who don't have any manager. Okay, Now the second approach is like applying the subquery for retrieving the same result. So how to apply the subquery? Now write this as subquery. So using the subquery, how we will retrieve this record is like select star from employee manager new table, where then in the where condition the subquery will come where employee id employee employee id not in what, so not in select star from select employee id, sorry, employee id from employee manager table, employee manager new table, and then here the condition will come like where manager id is not null. Okay, because for the person who don't have manager, the manager id will be null. So that's why we are putting here the condition where manager id is not null. And the in the outer query we have also mentioned like employee id should not be available in this particular output. So when you execute this sub query first, so we are testing this. So see here, we are not getting the employee id of one John Doe, who don't have any manager. Okay, and this is the final query by using the sub query approach that you need to provide to the interviewer for this particular question. Now execute this and check the output. So here you can see we are getting employee ID 1, John Doe, and manager ID as null. Okay. So this is clear. Now move on to the next question. So next what we have, the second question. Write a query to calculate total sales per customer in a sales table. Okay. So copy this particular question and then we will have the sales table. First of all, we will check the sales table and then we will try to resolve this particular question. Now do a select star on sales. Select star from sales table. Sales table, what record we have here, execute this first. So here you can see we have the sales id, customer name, sales amount, and sales date. Now what the question is telling, so how to write a query to calculate the total sales per customer in a sales table. So here you can see we have multiple customer who have made multiple sales. Now we need to find out sales amount, total sales amount of each customer. So this is a very simple question. We just need to find the sum of sales amount and then do the group by customer name, because we need the record set by customer name. So the solution for this will be like select customer name. So first table name we will mention so that intelligence will work for us. As we all know, select from sales table, and what we want the customer name, comma, sum of sales amount, SALES sales amount as total sales. Okay, and then we need the output as per the customer. So we need to group our result set by customer because it is neither contained in the aggregate function nor available in the group by. So we need to make it inside the group by. So group by customer name. Okay, this is clear, and this is the final query that you need to provide to the interviewer for this particular question. So check like sales amount name is fine or not. So sale amount. Okay, so that is why it is showing us the error. So all this error we are identifying by the use of intelligence, and how to use the intelligence, that video we have already made in our channel. So you can go and check that video also, how to use the SQL Server Management Studio like a pro. Okay, that video link also we will provide in the video description. Okay, now paste this and then execute this particular query. So this is the final query that you need to provide to the interviewer for this particular question. So here you can see we are getting Alice Johnson total sales this much, Bob Smith this much, Charlie Brown this much, David White this much. Okay, this is clear. Now move on to the next question. So next what we have the third question. So what it is telling, how to write a query to check if a table is empty. Okay, so basically this is a quite tricky question. So how to find out if a table is empty. Okay, for this we need to write a case statement, and with if exist we will check if the data is existing in the table or not. So the query for this will be like, so select one table, like select star from employee manager old table. Okay, so employee manager table, and here we have some records. You can see. Now we will check if this particular table is empty or not only by using a query. To how to do this? So for this the query will be like, one second. So the query will be like select and then write a case statement. Case when exists, when exists what? Select one from employees manager table. So what select one from is indicating? So select one from is checking if any record will be available in the employee manager table, then this select one will work, otherwise it will provide null. Okay, so we are checking case when exist select one from employees. Then what statement we want? Then data available, data available, available. Okay, else no data, no data. Okay, and then end as empty checking, empty check. Okay, and this is the final query that you need to provide to the interviewer for this particular question, like how to write a query to check if a table is empty. Now when we execute this, so currently employee manager has data, so it is providing data available. Now we will delete all the records from employee manager table and check if what record it is providing. So now delete from employees table. Now delete all the records, execute this, and then try to execute the select star from employees table. So currently no data is available. Now execute this particular query and then check what output it is providing. So here you can see it is showing no data available. So this is the query by which you can find out if a table is empty or not. Okay, now move on to the next question. So next what we have? We have the fourth question. So how to find the second highest salary for each department? Okay, so for this particular question we are going to use our employee table. Okay, because there we have the employee's name also, salary also, and department also. So first of all check the employees table what kind of data it has. Now comment this out. So select star from employees. Okay, now execute this once. So here you can see we have the employee ID, name, department, country, age, salary, and date of joining. Now what we need? So we need the second highest salary for each department. Okay, so for this particular question we need a bit advanced concept like Windows function. So here we will use dense rank, and according to the dense rank we will provide ranking to each of the salaries on descending salary, and then we will find out the second highest salary from that particular output. So how to write the query? We will write this. So select star from employees table, and then we need the dense rank function to be applied here. So select star dense rank, and then over partition we need to do by department, because we need the result set department wise second highest salary we need. So do the partition here on partition by department, DEPT, department, and then order the record by salary descending. Okay, so this is clear. Now check what output this is providing. This is not the complete query. Okay, this is the first part. Now first execute this and check what output it is giving. So see here department wise and then salary descending wise it is providing the ranks. Okay, and it is providing rank 1 to the highest salary and rank to the 2 to the second highest salary. Okay, so we need the second highest salary, so we need to fetch the rank 2 for each of the departments. Okay, so now write the outer query for this, or take this particular query as a derived table. Now write a query on top of this. So select star from what? From this particular query, consider this as a derived table, and then mark it as A. Okay, and then which record we want? Where rank equals to 2, and this is the final query that you need to provide to the interviewer for this particular question. Okay, now execute this and check the result set. So see here we are getting HR and IT wise, department wise second highest salary. Okay, this is clear. Now move on to the next question. So next what we have, the fifth question. So what it is telling, So write a query to fetch employees whose salary is multiple of 10,000. Okay, so this is also a general kind of question. Means this can be asked basically for means testing the basic knowledge on SQL. Okay, now here the trick is we need to use the modulus function. So modulus function, what it will provide? It is providing the reminder to us. Okay, so if you know about the arithmetic functions or arithmetic operations in SQL, then you can visit to our video on arithmetic operations or arithmetic functions in SQL that we will provide in the video link. Okay, now write the query for this. So write a query to fetch employees whose salary is multiple of 10,000. So very simple query. Select star from employees, and then in the where condition, where salary modulus 10,000 is equals to 0. So what it will represent, if the reminder will come as 0, then it is multiple of 10,000. Okay, now execute this, and this is the final query that you need to provide to the interviewer for this particular question. Okay, execute this. So here you can see Dharmesh has the salary which is multiple of 10,000, which is 1,50,000. Okay, clear. Now move on to the next question. So next what we have, so next we have the theoretical questions. Okay, now we are increasing the screen length so that it will be good for you also and us also. Increase it. So start the theoretical questions. Now the sixth question, what is the stored procedure? So this is a very good question and very important question. So the answer for this is, a stored procedure in SQL Server is a set of pre-compiled SQL statements that are stored in the database and can be executed as a single unit. Okay, and stored procedures help improve performance, enhance security, and simplify complex queries. Okay, now what are the key features of stored procedure that you can also give, or people if they have around 1 to 3 years of experience, then the definition is fine for them. They don't need to provide the key features, but you must know the key features of stored procedure. So what are the key features of stored procedure? Number one is reusable. So we can call the procedure multiple times without rewriting the SQL code. Okay, this is clear. Now second one, parameterized. So accepts input parameter to make queries dynamic. This is clear. Now the third point. So improved performance. So SQL Server caches execution plan for faster execution. Basically, SQL Server will contain in cache memory the execution plans, and that is used for faster execution of the query. Now the last point is security. So restricts direct access to table, reducing risk of SQL injections. Okay. So if any point you don't understand in this particular video, then let us know in the comment section. We will create a separate video for you, or we will try to make you understand on the comment itself. Okay, now move on to the next question. So next what we have the seventh question. So what are the uses of stored procedures? So the answer for this is, stored procedure in SQL Server offers several advantages that make database management more efficient and secure. So here are some key uses. So number one is improved performance. So stored procedure are pre-compiled, meaning SQL Server caches the execution plan, leading to faster execution. Point two is reduces network traffic by sending only the procedure call instead of multiple SQL statements. Okay. Now the point two. So enhanced security. So restricts direct access to tables, reducing the risk of SQL injection attacks. And number two is SQL procedures permissions can be granted at the procedure level, ensuring controlled access. Okay, and this question is continued till the next page also. So move on to the third point. So third point is code reusability and maintainability. Okay, so stored procedure encapsulates complex logic into a single procedure, making code easier to manage. And the second point is can be reused across multiple applications without rewriting SQL queries. Okay. Now the fourth point is supports transaction. So stored procedures allows execution of multiple SQL statement as a single unit, ensuring data integrity. And second point is can include error handling mechanism for better control. Okay. Now the fifth point is dynamic execution. So accepts parameter to make queries flexible and dynamic. And point two is can be used to generate reports based on user inputs. Okay. Now the last point, sixth point, reduces development time. Okay. So simplifies application logic by handling database operations within the stored procedure. And number two is developers can focus on business logic rather than writing repetitive SQL queries. And if you need to deep dive into SQL store procedure, then you can check our video on SQL store procedure. That is a detailed video on store procedure where we have shown what are the types of store procedure and how to create a user defined store procedure with parameter, without parameter, with output parameter and all. So all details are given there. That link also you will find in the video description. Okay, and if any point you don't understand, then let us know in the comment section. And one more point, if you need the data scripts and the table scripts that we are using in the query based question, then you can join our Telegram channel from here also, or you will find the link at the description, video description, and also in the channel description. Now move on to the next question. So next question what we have, the eighth question. So what are the types of stored procedures in SQL Server? Okay, so this is also a very good question because types of stored procedure people will ask generally. Okay, now the answer for this is SQL Server provides different types of stored procedure to handle various tasks efficiently. So here are the main types. Number one is the system stored procedures. So these are predefined procedures provided by SQL Server to perform administrative tasks. Okay, and the example for these are sp underscore help, sp underscore rename, sp underscore changeover. And the detailed video for these particular system store procedure is also available in that same video on store procedure that you will check in the video description. Now number two is the user defined store procedure. So created by user to encapsulate SQL logic for reuse. And the second point is can be written in T-SQL or CLR, common language runtime. Okay, now the third type is extended store procedure, which is deprecated and not in use currently, but you can know this one also. Okay, used to call external programs or DLLs and SQL Server, DLLs from SQL Server. Okay, now the next type is fourth type, temporary store procedures. So created in tempdb and exist only for the duration of the session. Okay, and number point two is the useful for temporary operations. Now the fifth type of store procedure is the remote store procedure. So what is it? A store procedure that resides on a remote SQL server and can be executed from another server. Okay, that is the remote store procedure. Now the sixth type is CLR store procedure. So written in .NET language like C Sharp and VB.NET, and it is used for complex logic that is difficult to implement in T-SQL. Okay, now move on to the next question. So next what we have, next we have the ninth question, and this is the very important question. So it is for any level of expertise from beginner to around 20 years of experience, you can also tell. Like this question is asked to everyone one time at least. So what is the difference between a user defined function and a stored procedure? So according to the features, we will define the differentiate between the stored procedure and the user defined function. So according to return type, so stored procedure can return multiple values or no value at all, whereas user defined function must return a single value or a table. Okay, now second point, usage in SQL statement. So stored procedure cannot be used in select where or having clause, whereas user defined function can be used in select where and having clauses. Now according to transaction support, so stored procedures support transaction, whereas user defined functions cannot have transactions. Okay, now according to DML operations, insert, update and delete, so stored procedure allow, whereas user defined function not allow except modifying table variables. Okay, now exception handling, so stored procedure supports try catch blocks, whereas user defined functions does not support try catch blocks. Okay, now calling mechanism, so stored procedures executed using exec or call command, whereas user defined function is called like a function within SQL query. Okay, now parameter type, so stored procedures support both input and output parameters as we have discussed previously, whereas user defined functions only support input parameters. Okay, now according to performance, so stored procedures optimized for batch processing, whereas user defined functions best for computation and reusable logics. Okay, now move on to the next question. So next is the last question so of this particular set. So what is it? So 10th question, explain about recursive store procedures. So the answer for this is a recursive store procedure in SQL Server is a procedure that calls itself to perform repetitive tasks until a specific condition is met, and this is useful for handling hierarchical data such as organizational structure or tree like relationship. Okay, or the one table that we have seen in our example like manager and employee relationship. Okay, so the key features for recursive store procedure are: call itself within its definition. Second one is requires a termination condition to prevent infinite loops. And third point is useful for processing hierarchical data like employee manager relationship or category subcategory structures. Okay, so thank you for watching. This is end of this set. And for data sets and scripts, as we have mentioned, you can either go to our telegram channel from this particular link, or you will find the link on our video description as well as on our channel description. And do like, share and subscribe, as many more videos are on the way. And this is the day 5 of 30-day SQL interview question, and we are also planning to create a master series on SQL, as we have